Hello everyone, and welcome to another video from my narrowboat. If you're new here, my name's Laura and I live on a 48-foot narrowboat called May Moon. And if you're familiar with me, you'll know that a lot of my interests and a lot of the way that I live my life, my lifestyle, comes from the fact that I am a practicing pagan. I describe myself as a witch. If you're skeptical about that or you have questions, understandable, I'll leave a link to a video that explains more about what I mean when I say that in the 21st century. And even though I made that video a while ago, I did mention that I wanted to start sharing more of my practice on this channel. So if you're used to very narrowboat content, this might be a bit different. I'm going to start a series on this channel called Rituals Not Habits, because that's something that I really try and invoke in my life for self-improvement and manifesting the things that I want and just being in touch and in tune with the natural world. I'm not very good at habits. Maybe you're the same. What I am good at is translating my desires into ritual. And so I want to share some of these rituals that I do. It's not to say that I think this is overnight magic. It's definitely something that will take effort from yourself. Effort and concentration and dedication. But we all have rituals in our lives. Everything from wishing on a shooting star to blowing out birthday candles is a form of ritual, and they can really help you make commitments to yourself. And this, I believe, changes your habits. Some people believe that rituals like this are only impacting what's within you and changing the way that you interact with the world, and some people believe that it is changing the world around you. So today I want to share a money bowl spell. So I'm keenly aware that I'm making this video while we are in a cost of living crisis. I don't want to imply that this is going to solve all of your financial troubles. It's not going to make you win the lottery. It's probably not going to fix the world economy. The way that I believe that this works is kind of subconsciously. You need certain elements, certain things to ground you, to help you remember what you're committing to. And this should change your habits around money. It should stop you spending. It should hopefully bring about opportunities where you could earn more money. And whether it's through habit, whether it's through inviting those things in, or just being more aware of the different ways that you could bring more abundance into your life. For me, this has worked many, many times. And in fact, this is going to sound really silly, but I bought this bowl about a week ago to do a money bowl spell for myself and to make the video. And even since buying the bowl, money has been coming to me suddenly. And I've been able to curb spending habits dramatically. And that's before I've even done the spell. I've just got the bowl out. I see it every single day. And I believe just seeing the bowl is reminding me to stay on course with spending habits and to take those opportunities for earning more money. So that's how I think it works, but everyone has a different interpretation of how rituals and spells work. I think a lot of habits focus on negativity, and personally I think it's so much easier to start doing something than to stop doing something. So I really like to frame spells in a way that's positive and action-based rather than limiting and restricting, because the habit that we're looking to replace with a ritual is to not overspend, but instead I think we should focus on bringing abundance. Whilst a lot of the spell ingredients that I choose will be focused on inviting that abundance in practice, in reality, a lot of that abundance will come from your habit of not spending. But it's just nicer to draw abundance into you rather than tell yourself that you can't do something. So let me show you how it works. first thing that I look at whenever I'm designing a spell or a ritual is the phase of the moon. The moon phases is a cycle that is very much used in spell work, in magic. It's very important to witches, pagans, Wiccans. Pretty much everyone who has a spiritual practice of some kind is pretty intertwined with the phases of the moon. And we see this even in modernity. So usually with rituals like this one, I will start the ritual on a new moon. A new moon is basically like starting at zero. And as the days go on, we're going to be building up to a full moon. So because I want to focus on abundance, it's that build-up that we're looking to harness. If, for example, you're looking to diminish something in your life, if we were to focus on the habit of not spending, for example, say that that's your issue. It's not that you want to bring financial abundance to you, it's that you want to stop spending what you have. Then you would start this spell on the full moon, because then we're harnessing the power of something diminishing. So today is a new moon, and I highly recommend doing this on a new moon. But again, it's down to interpretation. All of the things that I mentioned can be swapped in and out for other things. Some people also use the days of the week. Obviously, this is not always going to coincide with the correct moon phase, but when it does, it can be extra powerful. Any spells that are concerned with legal matters, money, contracts, buying a house, things that are very physical in the sort of physical realm, so material things, Thursday is definitely the best day. And it just so happens that this month, the new moon falls on a Thursday. So I got very, very lucky. So I'm actually filming this a few days ahead of when I was going to do the spell, because I would like to get this video up for you before this magical new moon Thursday. So I'm going to do a proper version of it for myself on Thursday, on the full moon. And if you're seeing this video, I would gather all the objects that I'm about to mention and get in there quick, because this is going to be a really powerful day to do this ritual. This spell is the bowl itself, and you can use any bowl. You could even use a cup. Anything that you've got to hand will work. However, I do think that using a metal bowl, and specifically a gold bowl, would probably work the best. So this is what we're going to be using today. I just got it from a normal shop. I think I got it from H&M. They're very easy to find. When performing spells, rituals, magic, traditionally you would open a circle before you do anything, and I think you can do this in a number of different ways. I think you can do it in your head. I think you can say things out loud. The main way that I open a circle is just by lighting a candle. For this particular spell, you'll want to use a green candle, because green is very associated with money matters. How entirely useless. These matches don't light. Just because the packaging's pretty, I guess. So this candle will remain burning while we do our work. And to close the circle at the end, I just simply blow the candle out. And like I say, this isn't a traditional way of opening and closing a circle, but for a very simple spell like this, it works for me. So you're going to want to take your bowl, and you're simply going to be adding a few ingredients to the bowl. And these ingredients have a spiritual connection to bringing in prosperity and financial abundance. The next thing that I do is light an incense stick. The incense that you choose should also correspond with money. So I'm choosing patchouli, and because I don't have an incense holder, I'm just going to stick it in an apple. So usually the first thing that I would be adding is 3 bay leaves. But I can't find any bay leaves, so I don't know where they've gone. I don't know how that's happened. So for myself, I'm going to add some sweet woodruff. Very similar properties. You're actually much more likely to be finding bay leaves than you are sweet woodruff, because I forage this and then I dry it out myself. You can't really buy it in the shops. The next thing that I'm going to add is some Himalayan pink salt. I then add 3 cloves. Some cinnamon and some green jade. I'll then stir this clockwise 3 times, And then I'll add any kind of coins that I have lying about, notes, gold, diamonds, don't have any of those. Anything that denotes abundance, riches, money, worth, add that to the bowl. And like I say, to close the circle, you'll then blow out the candle. Ideally, you let that smoke from the candle go to the open air somehow, so out of a window, or maybe you're doing this spell in the garden. And throughout the next couple of weeks until the full moon, just keep adding to that bowl. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can be, you know, pound coins, the odd note here and there. You should start to see some kind of abundance coming to you, or at least your habits around spending should be changing. And keep adding to the bowl, keep reminding yourself of the goal that you have. If you have a specific monetary goal in mind, say you're trying to save £500 for something. I'm currently saving for the blacking on my boat, so I do have a goal in mind. You can write that goal onto the bay leaves that you add into the bowl, just to keep your mind focused on what you're doing. I'm going to go make a cup of coffee now because it's actually 7 in the morning while I'm filming this. If you have found that useful or helpful in any way and you're going to try it, please let me know in the comments below. I'd really like to gauge how much interest there is for videos like this, because if you guys like it, then obviously I will make more. It is a big interest of mine and it's something that I'd love to share. I've been doing stuff like this since I was a kid, before I even knew what it was. And I think we all do stuff like this when we're children, and then some people never really pick it back up again, but I really have. And I'm currently going off into the countryside on my boat, and I tend to get a bit more witchy when I'm out of the city, so I really want to share the ways in which I continue my practice. So let me know in the comments if you're going to try this. If it works for you, then please come back to the video and let me know if it works. I'd love to hear some affirming stories. I have heard from people who've tried it, who I've showed it to, who've then gone on and done it, that it has worked for them in certain ways. So I'm really interested to hear about that. If you have any questions, if you have any requests, then obviously leave them in the comments. And of course, subscribe. If you'd like to see more content like this, please subscribe. I do share my life on the narrowboat, but I also share this now, I guess. So thank you again, and hopefully I should see you next week.